Taylor Swift has entered the chat. We have the text messages between Taylor and Blake Lively. I'm Alex, I'm an attorney. Let's talk about it. This exchange in particular was an interesting one to me. And if you look right over here, it's Taylor saying, by the way, if Justin was strategic, now go down here, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer, because that gives you more power over the film. That's your ally, not his. Blake then says, get yourself a friend who thinks like the actual Roman Empire. And Taylor says, his misogyny runs so deep, he thinks women are incapable of winning chess matches or making long game power plays. And then Blake responds, you are so right and so wickedly smart to call it. He should have run from your music. I never thought about that, but holy shit, how stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of an upper hand. Why is this relevant? Well, Baldoni and Wayfair are claiming that Blake and Taylor conspired together to try and take power from Baldoni on this film. And these text messages go to show that there was discussion between Blake and Taylor about what they can use to get more leverage and more power over Justin. There's a lot more where this came from, so stay tuned for the next part.
More text messages between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively are coming out, and it looks like right before the New York Times article came out, Taylor was pulling away from Blake Lively. Before I read those text messages, I also want to point out that this article came out saying that Justin Baldoni's team will be calling Taylor Swift to the stand as a hostile witness since she had more involvement in this situation. The New York Times article came out December 21st, and these text messages between Taylor and Blake happened on December 4th and 5th. Blake Lively reaches out to Taylor Swift around 8:14 p.m. on December 4th, and she says, hey, just checking in. I have no reason to ask, but I don't know. I've been feeling like I should. Is everything okay? Felt like a bad friend lately because I was such a sad sack who only talked about my own ish for months. You were generous to not only be the key person there for me during all of it, but also to let me off the hook for being so in it. I still have a feeling something may not be right. I told Ryan, he said to just ask you, but I felt so stupid and like it sounded needy and awkward for everyone, especially because I can't explain why I have this feeling. You know, I have toxic masculinity, so I can't be needy, but also I do want to know everything is good, so I'm asking. I always want the opportunity to be a better friend if there's something I unintentionally did. I know how busy and taxed you are, physically, emotionally, practically, so I don't expect any more from you ever. Just want to make sure all is good. An hour and a half later, Taylor responds to her, sorry, I'm out of breath again, I am sick, but she says to her, no, you're not wrong, but it's also not a big deal. I think I'm just exhausted in every avenue of my life, and in recent months had been feeling a little bit of a shift in the way you talk to me. Yes, there has been a lot of the Justin stuff, but I've been through things like this before, and I know how all-consuming it is. It's more like, and I feel really bad saying any of this because your texts have been so nice in their intent, but your last few, it felt like I was reading a mass corporate email sent to 200 employees. You said the word we like 18 times, and it feels awful to be in any way critical of any way you process what you've been going through, but I just kind of miss my funny, dark, normal speaking friend who talks to me as herself, not like a plural unit. And it's a group I'm hearing from. I feel distanced from you even more than we are geographically. I know you feel attacked from all sides for ridiculous reasons, so you're feeling like you have to overly explain things to be overly nice or whatever, but it's me. That's just caused a little distance. 4 hours later, around 1:58 a.m., Blake Lively responds, dear valued customer, thank you for your feedback. We at headquarters are reviewing your concerns and we'll get back to you in a timely manner. Real though, you're right. I literally deleted the awful thing I was going to end that bit with because I've become digitally paranoid. Irony here is she says, I don't know if you experienced that with phone calls after what happened to you, but after the thousands of text messages that weren't meant for me that I've been reading, I've internalized that everything digital may be public. I say that knowing it's irrational. My brain can't accept rational here. So yeah, I've been texting like I'm writing, not like I'm talking. I didn't realize that until you pointed it out, but I see it. Top of that, I'm overpackaging simple things because I felt so deeply misunderstood that I don't trust my judgment of myself anymore. It sounds over the top, but it's true. This effing guy and what he did to me gave me an identity crisis legitimately. The thing that spooked me most in all this wasn't the bad guys being bad guys. It was the good guys. My lifelong friends, allies to women who quietly dipped. And so I'm probably being over the top with my friends who stayed because I've never felt more alone. The track is very violent heavy. I hate it. It is, I'm being a stupid paranoid weirdo and felt it, but didn't know where or how or when. So thank you for telling me and for saying I don't need to apologize and for not making it a big deal, but I am sorry to you and I'm sorry to me and to our kids. F that guy and F his whole gaggle of super villains. Got enough on you. You don't need to write back to all of this. Just letting you know I see it now and thank you. I'm excited for you to be done with suitcases, constant sinus infections, and torn up kneecaps. So close. This submission will be processed shortly. Thank you again for your patronage, Blake Inc. Taylor responds and says, first paragraph took me out. Blake says, if only I sent you the unplugged version. I sent you a voice memo, but it doesn't show on your thread, which is really helping my case of not trusting phones. Did it go through? Taylor responds saying, yes, I'm just falling asleep, but we'll listen tomorrow. Love you. Blake Lively says, it's the length of a miniseries, which we know to be true. And she says, sleep, love you. Later in the afternoon, Taylor Swift sent Blake Lively an article of Justin Baldoni where it says, Justin Baldoni revealed he was sexually traumatized by an ex-girlfriend when he was trying to save himself for marriage. When Taylor says, I think this bee knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin. Blake responds saying it rings different when he doesn't end the story by saying, did I always listen when they said no? No, like he did with me, but that must not have tested well in the focus group. He's being honored at the Vital Voices for Women event on Monday. Taylor says, this is so disgusting and I hate that he's clever about this ish. Blake says, this inspiring event celebrates men who are using their platforms, influence, and leadership to elevate women, combat gender-based violence, and promote gender equality worldwide. Taylor says, well, not him, her. Blake says he's not, he just has a team. Yeah, her, and his publicist, Jennifer Abel. Taylor responds by saying he needs to be beaten by his own words. Blake says everyone responds and before we respond to a text, write an email, or trims his hair, it's wild everyone participates. I actually think it's important he's honored, and to all the people honoring him and not taking a moment to question. No one talks to him, no one will say his name, no one follows him, yet they are all close with each other. Maybe it was him. Nah, it was the women because they wore flowers. That's how you know. Taylor says, Jesus Christ, is everything still on track? And Blake says, oh yes, a week later though, but worth the wait. And Taylor says, okay, that's perfect. His own words, that's gonna be powerful. Blake says, that's what's wild about the entire thing. Everything is in their own words. Taylor says, it's the only way to beat liars and hypocrites. Blake responds saying, can you imagine feeling as confident as these predators that you're going to always get away with it? Him accepting an award as an ally for women, and Scooter going about the world with his head held high as he co-owns and funds a crisis PR company that silences women. Taylor says, it's like a horror film no one knows is taking place. Blake says, oh, but they will. It's the only thing that can come of this, the good that protects other women from this happening to them. Meanwhile, I walk around feeling death sentence guilty and apologetic for being sarcastic and liking a theme party.
All right, well, this is by far the most incriminating piece of evidence against Blake Lively's claims against Justin Baldoni, and it was at the hand of Blake Lively herself. Her own words just screwed her. So Blake Lively was requesting to get a PGA mark, okay? And so that's for, like, the top producer on a project. They get this very special credential. And we've already heard from Baldoni and Heath, and we have a letter that they wrote to their attorney at the time, that they were pressured and that they had to write an endorsement for Blake Lively, and they wrote that endorsement under duress. She was hijacking the film, she was difficult to work with, she was demanding that they write this letter so that she can get this coveted PGA credit, right? And she got it, and now we've gotten to see that letter. And in that letter, she buries herself. She goes in to talk about all the things that she did as the head of this film to make sure that she got this coveted PGA mark. And she lists everything, pre-production, production, post-production. But the most incriminating piece, I managed the politics and HR concerns on a daily basis, acting as an intermediary to keep crew and cast engaged, safe, and on board. And that's just one of the many things that she listed that made sure she was in control of this film the entire process. Not only that, because we also have the Taylor Swift text messages that were also pretty damning, because they laugh about how Baldoni should have never allowed them to put Taylor Swift's song in the trailer, because that then was him relinquishing any perceived control he had over this project. His own project, mind you. So, I mean, listen, if you actually look at this, like, it is pages of things that Blake Lively claims that she did, which made her one of the top dogs on the set of It Ends With Us. So it's hard to say that you had no control. You were just an actress. He was the director. He was the producer. You had no control over anything, and he was harassing you the entire time. And not only that, but then you're also responsible for Jenny Slate's complaints and Isabella Ferrer's complaints. All of that now falls on Blake Lively's shoulders, as she admitted in her own words. Sorry, Blake, but your dragons can't get you out of this one.
I know this might be an unpopular opinion, and you guys know that I'm no billionaire defender, but all that these newly released text messages from Taylor Swift to Blake Lively in the context of the It Ends With Us saga show me personally is that Taylor is a great friend. It's clear to me that Blake told Taylor that she was being harassed on the set of this movie. Taylor, being a friend, took Blake at her word. Now, if your friend tells you that she's being harassed, you're going to try and empower her, or at least a good friend would. So in the 2023 messages, when Blake asked Taylor to back her version of the script for Justin's movie, Taylor responds, "I'll do anything for you," which is nice in the context of friendship. Now, whether Blake should have been doing that or not is Blake's issue, but from Taylor's perspective, she's being a supportive friend here. In this other set of text messages, it appears that she did back Blake's version of the script, and Blake thanks her and says how helpful it was, and Taylor responds, "You're the coolest person in the world, and you like me." That's cute. That's very cute. The next year, on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of December 2024, Taylor played the final 3 shows ever of her blockbuster record-breaking Eras tour. Just 2 days before that, she's able to have a very touching exchange with Blake about the shift in their friendship, in which Taylor, in a really emotionally mature way, expresses her dismay that Blake is treating her like she's a corporate partner rather than a friend. And then the day before she's due to go on stage for her final 3 shows, she's going back and forth with Blake again, helping Blake with her emotions about what's gone on. Yes, she called Baldoni a little, but you've got to understand that, again, this is a person she believed was harassing her friend. That's kind of how you talk about people you think are bullying your friend. Now, I know some of you don't believe that that's what happened, but that's what Taylor believed, and you have to kind of understand that, to understand the context within which she's speaking. And remember, this is the day before she was going on stage in front of thousands of people. There are some of us who have much less on our schedule that cannot get back to our friends within, say, 2 weeks. So I do think that Taylor was being a good friend. I don't think this is a Taylor issue at all. I don't think she did anything wrong in this situation. She just took her friend at her word and ran with it, and that's kind of what loyal friends do. What's she supposed to do? Say, "No, I don't believe you," you know?
Taylor Swift acknowledging that she's Blake Lively's dragon and that Blake Lively is Khaleesi. Yes, these are text messages just dropped in the lawsuit, the ongoing lawsuit for It Ends With Us. Let's go. Taylor Swift saying, "Wow, I love how they use the song. Welcome to Hollywood, Justin." Yeah, that's Taylor Swift saying that. And then Blake Lively goes, "I'm not okay. I can't breathe. I'm obsessed with you. I have never felt more like Khaleesi. I have dragons, except my dragons are bred with Cersei herself." Damn, that's evil. So then Taylor Swift says, "I'm just picturing you muttering Dracarius," and then I fire off those texts to Austin. Just gonna remind you guys how Taylor Swift was saying that she felt manipulated and that she was not Blake Lively's dragon. Just one of many headlines. Then Taylor Swift is giving Blake Lively advice on how to take over this movie, okay? She says, "By the way, if Justin was strategic, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer, because that gives you power over the film, and that's your ally, not his." Yeah, Taylor Swift just told her how to get power over the film. Then Blake Lively says, "Get yourself a best friend who thinks like the actual Roman Empire." Wow, these two. And then Taylor Swift says, "His misogyny runs so deep, he thinks women are incapable of winning chess matches or making long game power plays." So this was a long game power play. They were in cahoots for a long time. And then Blake Lively says, "You were so right and so wickedly smart to call it. He should have run from your music. I never thought about that, but holy shit, how stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of an upper hand." You guys, these two monsters were in cahoots together from the beginning. Gotta say something, okay? I just gotta get it off my chest. First slight second, I felt bad for Blake Lively, but then I remembered, no, I called this way back when. I said that Taylor Swift was just trying to save her reputation, that she was in cahoots from the beginning, that they were both monsters. But then, when shit hit the fan, Taylor Swift was like, "Oh, no, I'm innocent. I was manipulated by Blake Lively. I didn't do anything. It was all Blake Lively," and everybody believed her, right? But now we see that they were in on it together, and then Taylor Swift is the one who turned her back on her friend. Yeah, they were doing evil shit together, but Taylor Swift, in my opinion, she's worse.
There's more Taylor Swift in Justin Baldoni's lawsuit.
I am deathly afraid to share this story time about Taylor Swift because I know the Swifties are just as intense as the Beehive. But since everyone keeps saying, like, how can Taylor Swift be Blake Lively's friend? How is that even possible? I have a story time to share, and I'm going to use the word allegedly a lot because, again, someone told me this story when I was living in LA. So I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to share it anyway. And since TikTok is getting banned in less than, like a few hours, I have nothing to lose, I guess. No one's going to see this video. So I went on a riot date with this gentleman. He was a private pilot. Really nice guy, but a little too arrogant for me. So I knew it wasn't going anywhere. So I figured, why not just ask him about his career and let him talk about himself the whole time? And he was telling me how he flies celebrities all around the world. And that's what he does for a living. He's a private pilot. And he flies private jet. So I was like, so I asked him, who's your favorite celebrity you've ever flown around the world? And he said Mariah Carey. He's like, she was so nice. She would always come into the pit and talk to all the pilots and assistant pilots. She would share champagne with us at the end of each trip. And I mean, that was kind of surprising because we've all heard that Mariah Carey is such a diva, and she's kind of like, ah. So it's like, oh, okay, then if she's your favorite, then who's your least favorite celebrity you've ever flown? And he proceeds to say, believe it or not, Taylor Swift. I was like, really? She seems so humanitarian, so happy all the time, a girl's girl. He was like, she was so mean to us and so mean to the pilots and the assistant pilots and the crew that we all have to get in a group chat message and talk about how to prepare mentally before we fly her. That he said she was the most verbally abusive, his exact words, allegedly, verbally abusive celebrity he's ever worked with in his 24 years of flying private. She would throw things at them, she would yell, she would scream, but she has such a strong NDA, allegedly, that no one can ever say anything publicly. At this point, I'm a bit skeptical, and I was like, oh my God, that just doesn't sound like her. She seems so sweet, and I love her music, I love her style. And he's like, she's just not only verbally abusive. He said he flew her and Joe Alwyn one time, allegedly, and she was screaming and yelling at him the whole time, that she threw something at him, that they had to intervene and said enough is enough, and the poor guy was in the corner like this. Again, this is just a story I was told on a date by private pilots. I don't know if it's true or not. But people say things like, how come she hangs out with Blake Lively? She's such a nice person. Listen, birds of the same feather flock together, and show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. And he said she's the meanest. Like, he will have like anxiety attacks before he flies her. And she doesn't fly.
I can't imagine Ben Affleck being excited about the fact that his name is being brought up in this lawsuit, but luckily for him, at least, it's not anything he said or did. In fact, it's a message that Blake Lively had sent to him that has everybody talking. If you haven't already seen it, let's read it together. Ben, it's Blake. Don't hang up. Mind you, this is a written message. Let's continue. Life is treating you beautifully. Ryan was going on and on about you recently amongst all that blank chaos. Blown away by you, though he was equally effusive about your Dunkin' commercial. So no, you have a Canadian fan club in my house and a Burbank one too. Writing with a zero pressure ask, I've just come out of the other side, well almost, of the most upsetting experience I've ever had on a movie. The making of a doc of this film would be more interesting than the movie could ever be. It's like if Wild Wild Country, Fire Festival, and Going Clear had a baby with the Room also works though. Anyway, I ended up rewriting and restructuring the entire script. I also ended up having to direct the movie via the chaotic clown director, actor, producer, financier, studio head at the center. Yes, that's all the same person. Oh, and did I mention he and everyone he had on the movie is in a cult? I believe she's talking about his religion. If I would have just formally directed it, it would have been much easier, but having to troubleshoot through his taste, ego, and pre-existing decisions made it so difficult, and that's not even touching on any of the wild HR issues and beyond. Anyway, now I'm on a bake-off with him in the edit. He's been editing since, I kid you not, July, and they gave me 10 days to do my own pass. I have a bake-off in 12 days, but I have a friends and family preview in New York on Saturday in the meantime, so I can get one round of notes or feedback before we duke it out. If you have an hour and 58 minutes of free time in any time in the next few days, would you be willing to watch the movie and give me any ideas or notes? I will pix it to you. You can literally text me a voice memo, so you don't have to formally write thoughts. If your wife or kids are around, I'd love their opinion also. FYI, it does cover DV, so no one is caught off guard. I'm such a fan of Jennifer's. I've told her so much every time I've met her, and it would be an honor to have her take. And zero pressure, I just really want this to work. After all I've put into it, this movie nearly killed me. I can think of very few people who would be as perspective and insightful as I know you would be. I asked Matt Damon to watch also, so I think he's watching this weekend. Good men showing up. I'm beyond grateful for that. Also, can you believe Jason Bourne is watching my movie? Get you an autograph one day, don't worry. If you're still reading this, whoa, you're not nearly as busy as you think, or you're a very nice person. Sending you all the best, XXB87.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So guys, there's this rumors and tweets, like exposed tweets between Taylor Swift and another woman was saying, is it something about Justin Baldoni or Blake Lively? So guys, there have been tweets going around saying how they are mean people and how they discuss about how they have to take down people, and Taylor was saying, oh, she wants to be a dragon, but she wants to be more like Cersei. Guys, I think there have always been a reason why I've never loved Taylor Swift. Yeah, there's a reason why I've never loved Taylor Swift. Yeah, there's a reason. And I think, let's say, the last time I was like really interested in Taylor Swift's music was in 2014 to about 2016. Guys, that was a time when I had no interest in watching TV anymore. Guys, at that moment I had like no interest in watching TV anymore. Like I was just more on YouTube. And even when I was on YouTube, like I'll watch her music and everything, but I kind of fell out of love with it, because the time I was first of all introduced to Taylor Swift is it's Blank Space, like Nice to Meet You, where you've been, like all those things. I don't know, maybe that movie, like that song, did she shoot it with Matt Franco? Well, that Matt Franco also has kind of like a very troublesome past as well for sexual sexual assault, because I'm trying not to use a full name because I don't want YouTube to like flag the video. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, like there was one, now looking back at it, there's one string of let's say one of the lyrics that stuck out to me. There was a line in the Blank Space where it said, boys only love that is tortured. Do not say I did not warn you. Do not say I did not warn you. So does that mean when she's trying to like be very mean to men, or to be very mean to a man, it means she wants to give them a tortured love, like she was trying to do with, like, is it what's his name? Is it John Allen, as a girl in the video was talking about? Because if that's the case, I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy because, like, I've not listened to her music like for a very long time. I've not listened to Taylor Swift's music like for a very, very long time. I've not listened to her music for a very, very long time. Like if she used to do maybe an album release, I don't even care. Especially with the opiate light that used to like sing on TikTok and everything. I don't care. And she's not the only person. Like for example, before all these things coming out, I don't think this is the first instance I've heard of Taylor Swift being a mean girl. Like one girl came out to talk on TikTok. I don't know why the videos are popular. She was saying that she and Taylor Swift, the mom of her mom and Taylor Swift went to school together, and that Taylor Swift was known to be in the mean girl crew. That she was known to be in the mean girl crew, like she was mean. Guys, the reason why some of these celebrities like get away with it so strongly, like with their mean stuff, is imagine that mean girl that you saw in school going out and talking to everyone, like being extremely mean to people, and comes out one day and is this big star, is this billionaire, whatever. Yeah, imagine that. It means it just like that's very dangerous, because it pushes the ideology that you can be mean as a tortoise and you are not going to face consequences for it. That's what it's given, that you're going to be mean as a tortoise and you're not going to face consequences of it. She also came under trouble when she was trying to fight for the rights of her music. I mean, did I wanted her not to win those rights? I mean, it's none of my business, but will I go and be mocking her because she was in the mess of fighting for her rights of the music? I mean, absolutely not. But I've never, like, people have always said she was a mean girl. This is not the first time, this is not the second time. People are saying, is it this Olivia, or like Rodrigo? Or I don't know her name. It's Olivia Rodrigo, I don't know. She said, she wrote it in her music that Taylor Swift was a mean person. And I've noticed that, like, most of the men that she, like, dated or wanted to really get married to them went on to, like, maybe leave her and go marry women of mixed race complexion. And to be fair, yes, I know, like, especially with the former thing with, I don't know why I keep forgetting people's names. You know her present fiance's ex-girlfriend. I can't believe I've forgotten her name and I know her name. With the ditch, like, do you remember that video that she made ditching like Taylor and everything? I didn't even care that much. I didn't care that much because one thing about Taylor is she's very fucking mean. And from what people have said, I do believe them. I do believe them that she can be very, very mean, because I also believe with what the girl says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. See, guys, I've talked about this on this channel, that I'm all for supporting people who you care about, but there are some times when that support can't go. Like, I'm not saying that go and bash your friend in public. You can pick your friend aside and say, look, friend, what you're doing is not great. It's not great. Like, for example, especially with the Justin Baldoni case, I'm not going to support the guy because I don't know if you even, let me say, hire people of color, whatever, or if you ever be interested in hiring people of color, I don't know, to save face or whatever. But the fact is, what Blake Lively and her husband wanted to do to that man was evil. It was evil. And the reason why they were so confident that they were going to do it is because they know they were going to get away with it. Yeah, it's still good. See, guys, everything is fucking, in a kind of way, a little bit connected. Just loosely connected. Because the reason why people keep doing evil stuff, guys, is because they know they're going to get away with it. They know, guys, they know this stuff. I'm not going to say that, well, people still know strict laws that have been put in place that if you commit something, you're going to go to prison. People still do it anyway. And when they face the consequences, yes, they still do it anyway. But there are some people that if they know they're going to face consequences, they don't fucking do it. Guys, let me tell you something. I know there's enormous amount of people in prison for doing very, like, serious crimes, right? Like serious crimes like murder and everything. Guys, let me tell you something. If there were no laws in place to for example regulate things, guys, the jail cells would have been more populated than they are. Yes, they would have been. So the reason why Blake Lively and her husband, the guy from Deadpool, wanted to really steal Justin Baldoni's movie was because they know they could do it. They hold power in Hollywood. They hold power, like they are multi-millionaires, like approaching, let's say, the 700, like the 600 or the 500. They are more, like, they are very rich. They are very, very rich. Just so you know, they are very rich. They are very, very rich. They are very rich. They are very rich. They are very rich. So they have that kind of power to be able to, like, let's say, okay, we are going to do that to you, and there's nothing you're going to do. So they were shocked that even though Justin's agent, who was managing him, dropped him because he wanted to go with the Big Lively and everything, like, he stood his ground and said he's going to take this woman to court. He stood his ground. So they were shocked that some people were on his side. They were shocked. They were shocked that he could be able to, like, sue them for that amount. Yes, he was shocked. Imagine that because I know Justin Baldoni from Jane the Virgin. Apart from that, I've not watched any of his works he has done. apparently due to this case, I had to learn that he owned a production company and everything. It's not annoying. Like, guys, see, seriously, seriously, this life is crazy. That, like, there are many things that you see. This is why celebrities are not my favorite people. They are never going to be my favorite people, and they never will be. I know low-key we have an obsession with them, but let's say if I have a business I want to sell, like, a celebrity will not be the forefront of the business. Like, if I'm to open a business, that is like, it's not every time that a celebrity is going to be the forefront of the business. Guys, there are many people who have money. I've said it again on this channel. There are many people who have money and are celebrities. So it's crazy to me that these victims have come out and people are saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. She seems so sweet. Nah, there's smoke somewhere. There's no smoke without fire, is there? Then, like, it's rare for them for fire to be able to burn without producing smoke. It's nearly impossible. It's impossible. So guys, bye. I don't know what to say more than this. So bye, guys.